Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos and articles on the golden era of bodybuilding.
Everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here, and I have to admit I haven't done one of these in a while. Today I'm going to go through Your Physique May 1951 with Malcolm Brenner on the cover, and there are some fantastic articles here, including Marvin Eder's article on how he was able to train up to he was able to obtain a bench press of 400 plus pounds, and Steve Reeves's rib cage expansion workout, which I'm going to go through first. Firstly, for outside you might hear, as you can hear right now, the occasional Swiss cowbell because it's summer here in Switzerland. The cows are out having fun, and yeah, so just ignore that. I find it rather relaxing. I'm also really in a buzz right now because I just had my interview with none other than three-time Mr. Olympia, Mr. Frank Zane, last night. I'm absolutely pumped. It's like a dream come true. I had a chat with the man. He was an absolute gentleman, and yeah, you'll be seeing a whole new series on Frank Zane very, very soon, and I'll be announcing that in a separate video. But let's get to these fantastic articles from both Steve Reeves, and that's the Steve Reeves one, and I believe later on is the Marvin Eder one. Oh, here it is. So here is I'll feature this one first because I think it's a brilliant article, and I'm going to talk about it in a separate video in more detail. How I trained for the bench press by Marvin Eder, or actually by Barton Horvath, who spoke to Marvin Eder as to how he trained for it. Essentially, of course, doing the bench press on a bench, he also did a lot of floor pressing, as you can see. Now, floor pressing is something I've talked about many times in the past. It was a Silver Era technique that kind of came, if you can imagine, originally from George Hackenschmidt's press from the floor, right? Because he was doing a lot of wrestling. He would train his neck actually by bridging on the floor and holding a weight up. That was you could say the originating or the progenitor exercise to the bench press. Of course, then bodybuilders found that you could also just strengthen not just your upper body, your neck, your shoulder muscles, but the chest, of course. And so the press off the floor, which is a much more restricted motion than a full range of motion bench press, really strengthens the ligaments and tendons and of course the musculature involved in the bench press. And so Marvin Eder, being the intelligent bodybuilder, as many Silver Era and Golden Era bodybuilders were, they were real thinking lifters. Essentially used these restricted style motions, so floor pressing and off the box pressing, which you can't quite see the boxes here, and really developed an incredible strength to then be able to do a full range of motion. It makes sense. Box pressing is very restricted. Floor pressing allows a greater range of motion, and then eventually the bench press. I mean, it sounds so simple, but to come up with the process and actually do it and apply it is just brilliant. So that's how Marvin Eder essentially used these three progressively increasing ranges of motion to train the bench press. How smart is that? Brilliant. I'll be bringing you a separate video on that anyway. Another excellent article from this particular, I mean, these magazines are just full of wonderful information, is Steve Reeves' never published routine on expanding the chest. Now, I've written a separate booklet on this, right? And basically, without giving too much away, I will give away in a separate video again with a full explanation as to how Steve was incorporating the routine, the rib expansion part of a routine into his normal full body routine. And I do want to talk about this in a separate video, but I announced my booklet a couple of days ago, and a lot of people were saying, oh, it's just squats and pullovers. No. This is the brilliant thing about, again, bodybuilders in the Silver and Golden Era. They were really intelligent. Reeves, not wanting to have a blocky appearance, he basically tweaked his full body routine to include rib cage expansion, and he was very intelligent about it. And all I can say is that he basically included deep breathing in many of his exercises, the ones that he knew would actually affect his rib cage. Extremely intelligent approach to expanding the rib cage, yet maintaining a wonderfully aesthetic physique. Now continuing with the rest of this magazine, I do love talking about the covers. Here we have Malcolm Brenner. Very beautiful, natural, strong, rugged physique. He's got nice flaring lats, tapering waist, very nice, well-defined thighs. The calves are missing a bit there. Thick arms, wonderful physique, natural of course, just brilliant. I love the physiques from the silver era. They're very, very attainable for any natural lifter, and that's why I love focusing on these magazines. The information within is really solid advice. As you know, I'm not very big on giving information on weightlifting. It's a wonderful sport, but that's not what this channel is necessarily about, especially when it's just about results, such as this competition, which was held in Paris. Yeah, there's not much really to talk about except, John Davis did this much and this guy did, that much weight. So yeah, it's not a big deal. To me, it's a big deal. To be able to perform the Olympic lifts. They are part of the Olympic Games. These are wonderful sports with the achievements these guys can do are fantastic. But being a channel on bodybuilding, results really don't count too much on my channel, so I'm not going to talk about that in particular. Now, I have talked about this wonderful article by Charles A. Smith on abdominal perfection, and I have shown this image before of this relatively unknown bodybuilder with a wonderful aesthetic physique. Just look at that. The guy could be carved out of marble. It's just beautiful. He doesn't have to be ripped to shreds, but the proportions he displays is wonderful. Full biceps and triceps, nice, nice deltoids, well, shaped ball pin shaped forearms. Really, a wonderfully expanded chest adds to the illusion of a tapered waist. Practicing that vacuum in a pose like this is just beautiful. It's art. It's human art. It's art in human form. And no grimacing of the face, of course. Thick, well-defined neck, pectorals on a wonderful expanded rib cage just burst out, and they look powerful and manly. It's fantastic. I love this image, this fantastic photo of, what's his name? Seymour Koenig. Well, there you go. He's got bloody German genetics, doesn't he? Of course he looks brilliant. So yeah, it's a great article on abdominal perfection, which includes exercises on how to improve your vacuum, how to define the obliques, the abdominals, etc. It's a brilliant, brilliant article with some more excellent abdominal examples here. For example, wonderful photographer later was Adi Zeller. He was a bodybuilder, of course, in the 50s. And here we have Walt Cuzzimano, who's obviously with Italian heritage. So wonderful abdominal development back in the 50s. Nothing over the top, but it looks beautiful. Great, great article. Now, here's another good article written by Floyd Page. This one actually deals with nervousness and anxiousness and how it can affect your results. And this is so true. Vince Gironda said the same thing. A bodybuilder should, in their rest days, be rather relaxed and stress-free and have a positive vibe about themselves, displaying confidence, and not be the nervous type. Nervous type wastes your nervous energy and drains your central nervous system, which makes it very, very difficult to gain strength and therefore build muscle. A very, very, very good article especially for the beginner, especially for those that are really thin. And the advice given here is excellent for those that are really thin, because if you find that you're a nervous individual, it might be a hormonal or nervous issue that you might want to check out in your doctor. These are the recommendations given here, and these are brilliant. To really rest and relax, to allow the growth, the healing, the anabolic environment to thrive on these rest days. It's the advice given in these articles is just fantastic. Here we have, one of the greatest photos, I believe, in physical culture history. Look at Alan Stephan in all all his glory. Look at that softball goddamn arm. I mean, damn, it is just bursting. The man is bursting with vitality. Look at that rib cage. Look how deep he can put his arms into his ribs. Of course, because he practices the breathing squat. That's what this whole article is about. Those slabs of pec muscle on top of that expanded rib. It just looks incredible. I mean, this is the look of a powerful man. It's brilliant. I love it. That's Alan Stephan at his best. At his best. It's just wonderful. And here, really, Alan, I mean, I wish I could just put all of Alan's articles in one book, because the man is a walking encyclopedia of brilliant natural bodybuilding techniques. It's just fantastic. I mean, this guy, when he talks, you listen. And here, he teaches you, it's like the master class for the breathing squat, how to prepare for it. And I've done a separate video on this article to prepare your back using the good morning, and to do the split squat, which is not demonstrated here, to develop excellent balance, knee and hip mobility and strength, to prepare you for the 20 rep breathing squat. Because a lot of people that start, novices especially, on the breathing squat, they fail. They fail simply because their bodies are not ready for it. And the beginning workout here that's supposed to be performed, I believe, for a month or two is top notch. And again, I've done a video on this before. I'm going to link it to this video above and in the description. And yeah, the rest of the techniques, of course, are just variations of the squat. Fantastic, like the hack squat, the front squat, and of course the normal back squat. Wonderful, wonderful article. Irregular Training is a decent article by Clarence Ross on the advantages of taking a break, especially if you are a advanced level athlete, and how, I guess, when you handle much heavier poundage, the intensity increases and therefore you may require more rest period. Again, the articles here are not for everybody. The person that reads this should reflect and understand at what level of their development and progress they can apply this information. And that's the wonderful thing about these articles. Some are for beginners, like the previous article on a deep knee bend, or some are for advanced athletes who've, imagine you're able to, already squat 300 for 20 reps. I think that such a workout may pretty much wipe you out for the next day or two. And so you might want to take a couple of rest days. That's what this article is all about. So it's really applying the information where it fits. It's wonderful. Here was a very interesting article on Frank Stranahan, a champion golfer who really served as an example back in the 50s as a pioneer. Because, and I say that not because he has an outstanding physique. I mean, he's got a pretty decent physique. He looks like a swimmer. He doesn't look like a golfer, right? But the fact that he implemented resistance training 70 years ago to improve his golf. As you can see here, he was a champion golfer. He used to win all the trophies back then. Just goes to show the origins of resistance training in overall sports, and how even back then, 70 years ago, some athletes were already starting to incorporate weight resistance to improve their game. And yeah, I mean, I really believe that Frank Stranahan served as a wonderful example of how the thinking of certain athletes was changing. Because back then, if you hear Dave Draper, Don Howarth, they all basically talk about the past and how people used to call them muscle bound. And being muscle bound, being strong was not an advantage, an athletic advantage. Of course, nowadays we all know it's true. If you're an athlete and you want to improve your game, you do it with weight resistance. But back then, it was thought that being muscle bound is no good. And so anyway, he served as a wonderful pioneer in the use of resistance training to improve athletic performance. I've already talked about Marvin Eder's wonderful article on how he trained for a 400-pound bench press. I've talked about Steve Reeves' rib expansion full body routine. Again, I've done a book on it. It's available on my website, fully explained, illustrated. It's a wonderful booklet. I think you'll enjoy it. About 30 pages long. It's the first booklet ever written on Reeves's rib cage expansion techniques. Very unknown, very rare information that you'll find, and it's based on this article. It's a great little booklet, available on my website, of course. Here's another great article again by Leo Robert, Mr. Canada, America's Most Muscular Man, and he talks about all these wonderful techniques, including a hack squat, where he's chained to the top floor of a gym. It's brilliant. I haven't talked about this one yet, and I may in the future, but you can see that he talks about quarter squats, full body squats, the straddle lift, using the iron boot, and of course going all out on the hack squat, even with a damn chain. I mean, damn, these guys really improvised back then. I mean, this guy is doing over 500 pounds apparently, Leo Robert, on the hack squat, but chained. Why chained? Because the hack squat doing 500 pounds might topple you over, so we had to be chained. It's incredible what these guys did. It's brilliant. Anyway, I believe, oh no, there's a couple of more articles. This one is get as massive as you can get in 3 months using 3 basic exercises. It's a very good mass program that I'll probably do a video on, involving a very wide grip bench press that is very similar to the powerlifting style. Breathing flies, the breathing pullover, as well as I believe the curl, the rowing motion, and the squat. It's a full body program to get massive in just a few months. And I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, I believe that is it. It's a great article, as I mentioned. Sorry, it's a great magazine. I do hope you have enjoyed this thorough explanation of this magazine and of this issue of May 1951. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about it. I love reading these mags. I'll keep bringing you these reviews as I've done in the past. I know that's what this channel was based on. What this channel, its origins is me reviewing magazines and books. And of course I will continue to do so. Of course, as the channel has grown in popularity and in, I dare to say, fame, it is well known now. Now, of course, I'm bringing you interviews, first-hand information from the men that were featured in these magazines, and I love doing that as well. I do hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment if you like the video. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate to support my channel, to support my research, please donate via PayPal, become a patron. Visit my website for out-of-print books and courses on old school bodybuilding, including the new Steve Reeves Rib Cage Expansion Full Body Routine booklet. And yeah, get in touch if you want to collaborate or pass on your bodybuilding relics. Please do so. I will take great care of them, and as many of you know, I am trying to basically create a bodybuilding museum for everybody in the world to share and enjoy. A place where everybody can come together. It's my vision now to bring people together, you know, with a grand opening. Imagine all the legends coming and seeing photos and you know, old pieces of weight equipment, literature, all digitalized, right? So all of this is kind of my dream now. So yeah, you can support me with that. Just get in touch via email if you wish to pass on your relics to be in this museum, which I'm trying to put together. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed the video. That's it for me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now. Now, if you're interested in learning more about how Steve Reeves developed his rib cage, I've got a wonderful new e-booklet up on my website, www.goldenerabookworm.com, which explains a very rare and unpublished Reeves rib cage and full body routine. Of course, my website has many other booklets on Steve Reeves' methods, specifically how I develop my waist, how I develop my broad shoulders, and another ebook on how he developed his wonderful diamond-shaped calves. All available on my website, www.goldenerabookworm.com. To take full advantage of my collaboration with Old School Labs, please visit their website and choose from their marvelous range of supplements using my code BOOKWORM12. And for an entertaining look at the history of bodybuilding's supplement industry, I would highly recommend watching Subs the Movie, which I have collaborated in, available at Amazon Prime and Vimeo.